episode 50. Yes, the big 5-0 part 2 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters Podcast. Remember, guys, you can jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan to support the Kenya Simbas as they are still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019 in Japan. I'm Demima Duffield.
And I'm Ngash, your official noisemaker.
So, Badman.
Yeah.
Coming from the Mwamba versus Impala game, which was our feature game. Now, a few players stood out for me. I think Anthony Nyandigisi had a very good game.
Yeah.
Not just, in passing or whatever, his kicks, I think, were really good. Then we had Lavin Asego. I think a few times his kicks got Mwamba out of trouble.
Yes.
And then also Derek Maya, I remember his solo try, after his knockouts and after he settled. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think his solo try was
excellent.
Yes, I think that would have been like try of the match.
Yeah.
But my bad man is still Xavier Kipngetich. Yes. The tackle, apart from all his other tackles, the tackle on Salaton Muturi.
Yeah.
Oh my, that was just, you don't expect that from your halfback, on a forward. Yeah. And an experienced forward at that. Yeah. That was just something else.
Xavier will always, as they call him, Xavier Kipngetich will always have a good game. I felt Anthony Nyandigisi, as you said, as I said, also Samuel Mutari, I thought had a decent game. Lavin Asego will always have, even when he's subpar, he's good. He's good. Yeah. So I think he had a good game. Yeah. But my bad man of the week is a gentleman by the name Reina Omondi. He was the second row yesterday, number 5 for Impala. And lineout, he was very good in the lineouts. Yeah. He won all his lineouts. His ball carrying, though not as physically imposing as Simon Niafu is, he was able to gain some yards in his ball carries. And we saw the scrummaging. We saw how they were dominant in the scrummaging against Mwamba. He's a young talent. Yes. He's a guy who's come up through academy at Impala. And I remember the first time I watched Reina play was the Floodlight 2016 Floodlight Finals. Floodlight Finals versus KCB. And I remember asking myself, because he was coming up against Oliver Mangeni in the lineouts, and he was able to, give Oliver a run for his money. So he's definitely somebody to watch, and I think he had a very good game versus Mwamba. So my bad man of the week is Reina Omondi.
Well done to those two.
Yeah.
Now moving on to Rugby 101. If you're a small guy, you don't like it. If you're a big guy, this
is what you like.
Yes.
Especially guys from Homeboys. Anyway, our Rugby 101 term for today is again something you'll hear when you go watch a rugby game in Kenya, and it's Bosh. Bosh is short form for Bonda. That's where it came from.
I actually hadn't put that together. I really hadn't.
Bosh is a short form of Bonda. And those guys who are conversant in Swahili, Bonda is, of course, hitting. So the big hits, I'm a Boshum guys. So those are the big hits you'll hear guys saying, hey, umtu ame Boshiwa. Hey, umsini wa Bosh. Or if the game becomes physical, you'll hear guys say, hey, game ni a Bosh. Of late, I've started hearing guys saying Conte. I think it's something that came from Homeboys. But anyway, I'm just saying, I'm just making a comment. But anyway, Bosh is basically the big hits in rugby.
All right.
Yeah.
Bonda, Bosh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And then we go on to Shujaa. Our sevens team was in Dubai, first and second. Guys, we advertised this for so long. It became like second nature, but yes.
Yeah.
So I actually think it was a pretty good outing by the boys. First game they played against Canada and Canada, and they won that 29-15.
Yes.
Second game was against please, why you? I haven't even said this anyway.
Okay.
Against South Africa, and I don't know what it is with South Africa, and we lost that game 5-48.
Yeah. That sounds like an alarm clock.
I know.
5:48.
5:48 in the morning. Snooze. Snooze. I'm not ready.
5:48.
Yeah. And then we played against Uganda, won 29-14.
Yeah.
And then we were in the quarterfinals against New Zealand. Now, honestly, this game I thought we played very well because we're up against New Zealand. We didn't have Dennis Ombachi, we didn't have Collins Injera, and I was like, oh no, what's gonna happen?
Main problem.
But 12-14, and New Zealand just won it at the end. Yes, I don't think that's the New Zealand we're used to seeing, but still, I've got to give it to our boys. They played. They definitely played.
That's true. They did play. It's a good performance. From the Shujaa from the Shujaa team, sorry, from the Kenya Shujaa.
Yes.
But especially that New Zealand game, it was what resulted in us losing was a bit of carelessness and immaturity. I'm sure the common topic and what people are talking about is Samuel Liech missed conversion. Fine, he had a bad moment, and unfortunately, they are going to be talking about his missed conversion. And I think Sammy had a very good tournament. But for me, what the biggest mistake we made against New Zealand was we had a penalty in their 5. Rather than take it easy, because we were going to score. Just take it easy, build your phases, let the clock run out, build your phases and score. Dan Sikuta decided to scratch and take on New Zealand alone. He was trying to be quick. Works sometimes, doesn't work sometimes. But what happened in this case, it was a turnover from New Zealand, and before we knew it, it was a counter and it was a try on the other end. Kenya losing narrowly, 14-12. They went on, of course, to lose the Challenge Cup semi-finals against Australia
12-19.
But I mean, all in all, it was a good performance. Our boys look fitter. Our boys look are very aggressive. They look, they're attacking the breakdown when it needs to be attacked.
I like the confidence.
Yes, exactly. As you're saying, they're looking very confident. But the story from these Dubai Sevens is the fact that 2 of our players get injured. World Rugby. Okay, let me just brief our viewers so that they understand where I'm coming from. Previously, World Rugby, or IRB as it was then, used to have the rule that used to have a 13th player who was a non-traveling reserve. I think maybe 3-4 years ago, they changed the rule and said even the reserve travels.
Travels.
Now, ideally, we should have had a 13th man in Dubai. Collins Injera gets injured. Dennis Ombachi gets injured. He's out for 7 months. This 13th man should have been filling in there. Now, the story is that that ticket. Where did it go? It went to someone who apparently was being seen on TV.
Oh no!
But it's what we keep on talking about. Come on, guys, we can't be finishing a tournament with 10 players. It looks very irresponsible of the Kenya Rugby Union. It looks very irresponsible of Kenya, and we need to start holding people accountable for such things, because I can tell you, once episode 50 is done, I don't think people will be talking about this again. You see, all of a sudden, it just slides on the caption. I think that was a bad move by the union, and they should not have done that. But anyway, it's happened.
So whoever that was should be feeling shame on you.
Yes. Full shame on you.
Yes. Well, we finished 7th with 10 points.
Yes.
Not too bad. Hopefully, I mean, the big question is consistency.
Yes.
I'm hoping as we go forward, we've got the Cape Town Sevens on the 9th and 10th.
Yes.
I'm just hoping we can keep it up, either get better or at least stay where we are and not drop.
That's true. And I'd like to see some solid performances from the likes of Jeff Oliech. Jeff Oluoch, the Home Center. I'd like to see him carry that on into Cape Town. I'd like to see Samuel Oliech carry out what he did. Excellent kickoffs, because we were reclaiming almost all of them. So I mean, it's a good platform. Dubai, we've started well. I think Cape Town, they'll be able to capitalize and capitalize on the platform that they've set in Dubai. Then
there's talk of Bidco being back of the shirt sponsors. So they're co-sponsors for the team. They've got rights for 3 years now. What do you think about that?
Sponsorship is always good. We never tell them not to come. The sponsorship is always good. And I think Bidco have structured this sponsorship from a diet perspective, because diet is very big when it comes to sports. I'm hoping they'll be able to do that. We just don't want to hear stories of whatever is being provided by Bidco being taken or misappropriated by some of the people who are in charge. There's also some cash that's going to come in place. There were 3-year namings, right? For those guys who watch the Dubai Sevens, of course, it's just above the back. But the question I ask is, will we see this money be put to use? So we just wait and see. But then the question is, and I throw it back to you, the Kenya Lionesses are also part of this deal. We know they didn't travel to Dubai because apparently there was no money. And Richard Omwala, chairman Kenya Rugby Union, says that they're not captured in the 0.6 billion that was given by SportPesa. What do you have to say about that?
Honestly, I think that's absolute hogwash, because what's the point in, when you're having your photo ops and everything, the women are there. We know they go for this as an invitational team every year. So how is there no money?
True.
Like that, I don't understand. So you were training so that what?
Yeah,
I
so-
mean, honestly,
yeah.
I think we should have known before.
Yeah.
Now, very quickly before we finish, there's the autumn test.
Yes.
We had Wales versus South Africa.
Yeah.
Wales winning it just by 2 points,
Yeah.
24-22.
Yeah.
Narrow scores, is that what you expected?
I expected South Africa to win. I expected it to be a close game, maybe a 5-pointer. I expected South Africa to win, but Wales showing that they're very strong at home at the Principality Stadium. Last minute penalty by Lee Halfpenny. I think the most interesting thing is that Wales were actually leading 21-10 at halftime.
Yes, at halftime.
But South Africa were able to outscore them in the second half. So both teams now wrap up their autumn tests. For Wales, their next encounter is the Six Nations. For South Africa, the next encounter will be the Rugby Championship next year. So they go back, do their homework. Alistair Coetzee and Warren Gatland, respective coaches, have some homework to do.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we have time for today.
Yep, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, remember you can like our page on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm BMOTW.
This is Ngashi, official newsmaker.
See you in part 3.